All right, we are officially starting at 6:04 on Thursday, April 21st, 6 p.m. All commissioners present except Seb Senia and Joe Polcini. If anyone enters the room during the meeting, I will make a note of that for timestamp purposes. All right, so we call this to order. Audience of citizens, anybody wish to speak? Anything, Bill?
I just have one question.
All right, you need to, nice and loud, your name.
Yes,
And address, please.
Bill Richards, 811 Richard Road, Kensington. I have a question about hole 17, the tee boxes. Are the other tee boxes going to be opened or used?
The low
The ones that are
The
the
lower one.
low ones, yes.
Yes, they will be open, right now, unfortunately, and it's not right now, it's been since the beginning of, since they were constructed,
Yeah,
kind of built the boat in the basement, and that there really is no truly safe way to get down there, especially when it's wet.
Okay.
Carts have a tendency to go slipping, sliding down that hill.
Yeah.
So, as we get into the warmer, drier months, yes, we will put the whites and blues down there. You will not see senior tees down there, that's just too much.
Yeah.
But yes, to answer your question, yes, as the weather dries out and becomes less slippery, if it's not gonna be a rainy weekend, we'll put the whites and the blues down there.
okay.
The plan going forward is to construct some type of road/path leading to it. If we were to do it and pave it, it would cost us an arm and a leg. So what we'll most likely do initially is to construct it on the millings we have, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. All right, minutes, approval of minutes. Everyone get a chance to read them?
I have comments, changes to make, we're gonna get too late, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Usually I do that ahead of time, but I did not, it's more of clarifications. And, just typos, I could go on page 2, it's just, I'll hand it to Peter, adding an if on 1, but it says, considering the pool, this was, and I said that, where, people were kind of uncertain of where that came from, and that was at community center meeting. So that's an application, that's an edit on there. And on page 7, it's not Finance Director Delaney, it's Kevin DeVoe at Stanley, of the cost of the clock. So I will give those to you, Peter, you can, you have those electronically already. What, there you go.
Kevin's not the finance director.
No, Kevin Delaney, Kevin DeVoe, the comments in there concerning the clock.
Correct.
Yeah, but the information that did come from the finance director, Kevin Delaney, the cost of the clock at Stanley.
Oh, from Delaney?
That's correct.
Oh,
It didn't
okay.
come from Delaney, it came from DeVoe.
Yeah, but Kevin's just the superintendent.
Yeah, I know Kevin, I know,
Yeah.
that's why I said he is not, I know.
Oh, okay,
But I know
I got you.
I know Kevin for many years.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Okay, with the changes as proposed, need a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
Jim Norton, second.
Second.
Nancy, second. Discussion? Hearing none, all approved?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so moved. Before going to old business, I'd like to add an item to the agenda that was omitted. And that is, we have Bill Bigler and Hugh Smith from Youth on Course from the CSGA. And they're here to discuss a new program that's been going on a little bit, but now they want to bring it in full force. So I'm going to turn it over to Bill Bigler from CSGA, and we have Hugh Smith on Zoom to further enhance this. Okay, Bill, thank you.
All right, thank you for having us. As mentioned, I'm Bill Bigler, Director of Member Services with the Connecticut State Golf Association. And that distinguished gentleman on the screen there is Hugh Smith, who is the Director of Regional Affairs for Youth on Course. I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
And as I'm sure you know, one of the biggest barriers to junior golf is the cost of golf, and want to get more kids involved. And nonprofit Youth on Course helps us handle this situation. So we're partnering in Connecticut, bringing courses on board Youth on Course currently partners with nearly 1,700 courses across the United States. They're in all 50 states. And basically they provide subsidies to facilities who in turn offer affordable tee time rates to junior golfers. These are Youth on Course members. The program is very simple. The course charges an affordable tee time rate, typically $5. And the CSGA Youth on Course will provide a subsidy each month for every round logged at that course, making the course whole. So it's a brilliant program, and we're real excited about it. I think Mark was pretty enthusiastic about it when he came back to me with a couple of questions and said, let me get this straight, how does this work? And I explained it to him. It's really that simple. It's really a win-win, gives kids an opportunity to participate in sports and golf, and also increase patronage from kids and their families. So this is a true grow the game initiative. Yes?
What are the ages? What is considered youth?
Junior golfer, under 19.
Under 19.
Under 19, correct. So, we talk, by the time we get to the end of this meeting, I think you'll agree it's a great program. It's real simple and it works really well. Nearly half the rounds played by Youth on Course members are accompanied by a full paying adult, and there are range fees that kick in, and also food and beverage and pro shops. So people do come and spend money, and you're made whole for the junior golfers. Hugh, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to prevail upon you just to provide a little bit of background about Youth on Course, and who you are, and how you came to be, and what kind of impact you're having.
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks everyone for allowing Bill and I to be a part of the meeting, and Mark as well. I'm Hugh Smith. I'm the Director of Regional Affairs for Youth on Course. I'm based here in Northern California, where our offices are. We are technically the Northern California Golf Association Foundation, as the DBA of Youth on Course. So we work in the amateur golf space and work with allied golf associations around the country. So what started here in Northern California back in 2006 has expanded in partnership with other state and regional golf associations like the Connecticut State Golf Association. And so we're currently, as Bill mentioned, in all 50 states. Right now we have over 1,700 courses where kids can play for $5 or less. I was a military kid, so as a dependent, I was lucky enough to play a couple military courses here in the Monterey area for $5 back before Youth on Course was a thing. So now being able to be in this chair and work with folks like Mark and Bill and all of you, we're able to kind of carry an affordable access program for young people who really just want to play more golf. And essentially that's what it's all about. It's all about access. We do have other initiatives that we help manage across the country, like a work-related program, which we are wanting to also bring to Connecticut, where we'll hire and pay the salaries of high school age Youth on Course members to work in the golf industry at golf courses, where they may work in the pro shop or in the clubhouse, like the snack bar, or on the grounds with the superintendent staff or outside service. And then we also provide scholarships as well, where we give out around $250,000 a year in scholarships. And so we're doing our part to help make sure kids can play affordably. And then if they want to continue in the game with a job, or if they want to go to college, an interesting stat about our scholarship program is over 40% of our recipients every year are first in their family to go to college. And so again, for me, my dad was drafted in the Army right out of high school, so he never got to go to college. I was first in my family to go to college, which was a big deal. And so similar to providing access that's affordable, our scholarship initiative is also equally as great for us. But as we're expanding in partnership with the Connecticut State Golf Association, we're excited to reach as many facilities as we can. As Bill mentioned, it's kind of a no-brainer, at least that's how we try to present it, for courses to participate with Youth on Course. The agreement that would be in place is open-ended, so we can modify it at any time. If we wanted to change the availability, if we wanted to, modify anything, we can do that. We want to be a partner with you and any facility in the state and across the country. So really excited to have the opportunity to speak with all of you. I was just in Connecticut like a week ago for a big meeting we had there regionally in Hartford. So next time I'm out that way, hopefully I can see you all in person, but I appreciate you having a Zoom option, to be able to attend the meeting. So thanks again for your interest in Youth on Course.
Thank you, Hugh. Any questions for Bill or Hugh?
Well, is there any sort of instructional, put it this way, I grew up caddying, right? So before you get on the course, right, you had to know, listen, here's how you fix a divot, here's how you rig a trap, do you have any, instruction to golf? I mean, golf etiquette is just gone. I mean, listen, you just look around, nobody rigs a trap anymore. It's like you're frustrated. Nobody fixes a wall mark, nobody fixes a divot. It's like, do you guys get into that? Give basically, I call that a foundation before you even get a club in your hand. Listen,
Yes, sir. Yeah, and we equally agree that that's an important foundation to get started in the game. When a young person joins Youth on Course, they receive a welcome email from us that in it has a curriculum that's expected for all new members to take. And their membership is not like activated until they've taken that. It's personalized. We can track it. We know that they've done that. And in that curriculum, it covers those things. It covers kind of what's expected of you when you show up at the facility, how you should present yourself, how you should conduct yourself on the golf course, and then afterwards, where other golf courses are in your area. We're very fortunate to have a mobile phone app that we use for members. We've tried to come into this 21st century, and so we're no longer printing membership cards. We have a digital membership card that they can access in the app. But they can track rounds played. They can find courses near them. A new partner of ours is Golf Now, where if any of you were to book a tee time on Golf Now, you have an option of making a donation to Youth on Course, which is huge for us. But yeah, together, we want to make sure these young people are prepared to play a round of golf, that they're being respectful of the environment, and that they want to go do this more and more. So as a nonprofit, Bill and I are tasked with raising appropriate resources to make sure this is sustainable. Last year, we had over 400,000 rounds played, which was about $3 million reimbursed to golf course owner operators across the country. And so those are all, subsidies that are paid back to golf course operators. And so every year, we have a number of national fundraising initiatives that we do. One of them is called our 100-hole hike, if any of you are interested in participating in a 100-hole hike, I would challenge you. It's where you play 100 holes of golf in one day. You reach out to your friends and family to make a pledge per hole. Usually it's $1 per hole, so it's about a $100 gift. But 100% of what's raised stays there locally. And so working with Bill, maybe even Mark, I don't know, Mark, if you're up to play 100 holes in a day, it's definitely, it's an endurance day. Most of the locations where we do the 100-hole hike is a short course. But yeah, 3 years ago, I had a bad back and I did it in a brace. So you can still get it done, but between the 100-hole hike and we have an online auction and other initiatives, we're making sure it's sustainable. But on the front end, like you're saying, yes, I couldn't agree more. Young people have to know what's expected of them when they
older people too, believe me.
Yeah, well, one comment I would make around that is Mark is doing so much with junior golfers.
He's doing a great job.
And a big part of that,
huge.
a big part of that, I'm sure, is preparing these junior golfers for playing on the course. It's, obviously, and so, a lot of those golfers would be great candidates to join Youth on Course as a member, giving them the ability to play more golf and make their golfing money go a little bit further. Another question?
Has any course not taken advantage of this for their youth?
Well, as we mentioned, we have a dozen courses in the state right now, and I think the biggest challenge, maybe, I think we talked about this a little bit, people are kind of like, well, what's the catch? And the reality is there really is no catch. So it does take a bit of legwork and groundwork on our part to really get up in front of people like your commission and present the program and put it all out there, but it really is as simple as it sounds. So, yes?
How do you market it? How does the CSGA marketing it now?
Right now, we're just beginning really, but with social media, the communications to our members, and Youth on Course is a great marketing communications team that helps us in that way. The course itself will receive a packet which will have some materials to help the youth understand what the program's about, and we're planning on spending time visiting junior camps. We just partnered with Goodwin Golf Course, which is now managed by the First Tee. So the First Tee.
So how do you differ between? I'm glad you said that, because how do you differ between the First Tee?
Well, the First Tee is a great program, and this is just a natural add-on to that. We're not really trying to, there's no competition in junior golf at that level. We're just providing an outlet and a mechanism for juniors to play more golf. So once they're course ready, then they can go out and take advantage of it.
Yeah, if there's one thing I can add, prior to moving back home here to Monterey, I lived in Arizona for 10 years, running a chapter of the First Tee of Phoenix. And in Arizona, we had Maricopa County as our defined area. I was reaching over 100,000 young people through the First Tee. So we did a great job. I had 20 plus locations where kids would show up regularly for programming, after school, weekends, events every month. The one challenge I had though was ongoing access. It was easy in a way for us to try to coordinate access, like I could call ahead and arrange for a group of our members to go play a round of golf. Usually that was with a volunteer or someone. But when Youth on Course expanded to Arizona, it was really a huge plus because it took that responsibility off of my hand as executive director and it really enabled these young people to go and play on their own. They could go play affordably for $5, there'd be a subsidy attached to it, but access was really no longer an issue. Every member in the First Tee had an opportunity to take advantage of that. And so when I was with Bill earlier this year, meeting with Mark Moriarty, who's the executive director of the First Tee there, we had a similar conversation. And so the members of that First Tee chapter in Connecticut will also be able to take advantage of Youth on Course. And Goodwin Park, as well as all the other courses in the state and across the country, will be available to these young people. And that's the added plus. Like if you're a member of Youth on Course, you can play any of those courses for $5 or less.
Now, is this just 9 holes, Bill?
It varies. Now I know your 9-hole rate is $12. So if we're talking $5 and a subsidy of $7, that makes your 9-hole rate complete. And we can talk about the 18-hole rate. Hugh, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but we try to keep it affordable for the golfers and the club, but also
Sure.
something that we can sustain. So
Yeah.
there are 18-hole rates available for sure.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
So this would involve a contract, correct?
It's a course agreement. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so that would, just for process, if we make this recommendation, it has to go to the town council.
Yeah. That's
Yes, it would definitely have to go to
Yeah,
council.
Okay, just wanted to.
I don't- There's no, there isn't one penny lost on any of this. I don't,
No,
I can't
I mean,
imagine, I can't imagine them.
the next
Yeah,
logical
yeah.
step would be to just work on the availability, like time restrictions and things like that.
Right.
Right, exactly.
And also the rate and the subsidy, which we would put into a course agreement, and then that could be presented to the council. And,
And Mark and Jerry would work with you guys on
Yeah.
that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mark, you're all for this, I'm assuming.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it truly is a no-brainer. I do think, yeah, we need some restrictions, but we kind of have that anyways with our junior rate. It's Monday to Friday anytime, or Saturday, Sunday, I believe it's after 1. I think that's all we need, but again, it's a no-brainer. We're not losing anything. Like, we're not giving a discount. And obviously it's really good for the youth golf, which we have a lot of. I guess my question is, so people have to be a member of Youth on Course to participate in this, and they have a membership card. How many members are in Connecticut? Are there a lot currently, or?
I want to say we have something just under 100 in Connecticut currently.
And what, a dozen courses are for?
Yeah, but again, we're really just kind of getting started. We had a soft launch during COVID that really, we just didn't put much into it because we weren't really sure of the landscape and what made sense. But now that we're hoping to bring have a total of 20 courses on board, certainly by the middle of the season. And,
I mean, I think it's a great thing if we got a bunch of our junior golfers to join it, because it would save them,
yeah.
$7 on their rate to come play here, at the course, and that really would be helpful all around. And I think for you guys and us,
Right.
to provide that amenity to them. So, I mean, I'm all for it, obviously. I do know that, we need to still generate revenue, but in this situation, it's like nothing different than what our norm is.
It's a revenue neutral solution. It really is truly
Yeah.
the one program that is, for the good of the game, growing the game, giving kids an opportunity. I think about my kids, they're all older now. But
There's nothing negative about it. Yeah.
$20 to go play golf, and that was it. And now, under this program, they could go
Mark, how many
Around.
junior passes do we sell?
Less than 10. I
Well,
mean, it's,
because this is actually an advantage to the junior, at $5 a round, because it's certainly gonna be cheaper than the season pass.
yeah, and they're already paying $1 for 9 too, so it's, if they're a
Right.
pass holder. Yeah.
So
Well-
actually, it might be a little, some people might not buy a pass, they'll do this.
Yeah, dude, why not?
That's fine.
Yeah, which is
I actually get
which is fine.
No, but what I'm saying, depending on how much they play, it might not be revenue,
How does CIP
but I
come
think
into
it's
play?
such small potatoes.
Yeah, it's such a small.
Small amount.
How does CIP come into play, Mark?
I mean, that would, it's part of the $12 rate, so it would, you know, it's there anyways.
Okay, all right.
I think just on our end, we need to see how they want to account for it, you know, because we wouldn't have the $7 up front that's being charged. It would be back charged, I guess. How does that work? Do we like track it?
The true ups at the end of the month or something like that? I mean,
Yeah, so the golf shop logs the rounds. There's a course portal, and it's real simple. You put the junior shows you their app or their membership card. You put in their membership number, which is actually their GIN number, maybe their last name if you have to search around for them. And you log each and every round, and at the end of the month, a check is cut and sent to the course, so wherever it needs to go.
Mark, is that something that we can add to the POS system to track?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's no problem. That's, yeah.
Oh, is there a fee for the kids to
The-
become members?
There's a $20 fee to join the Youth course, yes, and that just goes directly to supporting the program.
And for allied organizations like Chapters of the First Tee, LPGA Girls Golf Club, other allied organizations, we normally discount that that membership fee. So it's more affordable for those young people who normally have some kind of financial challenge.
And you had mentioned that they usually, I'm sure they probably play with a parent. So I mean, that parent's paying the full rate. There's just a lot of benefits to this, and I can't see too many negatives, you know, if any.
Right.
Yeah, it's nothing but good news for the juniors.
Yeah, it's a program,
So-
we feel real strongly about the program.
Well,
Real
yeah,
enthusiastic.
you know, Timberland has had a long-standing tradition of junior golf back in the Lindsay days, and you know, Mark's taking it to the next level.
Mhm.
So I mean, you know, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to do this, to be honest with you.
Well, we'll work with Mark and form, you know, get the agreement together and go down the path, the channel, whatever has to happen, and we're available to answer any questions for anybody else that may have some.
We'll take a formal vote tonight,
Okay.
because it has to go to council.
Yeah, sure.
You know, we're only an advisory board, so.
Yep.
But I don't see any reason why this wouldn't fly with the council. It's a win-win.
Yes, it is.
And thank you guys for coming up with it, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Yeah,
Happy to do
for
it.
sure.
Okay,
All right, Bill.
I will step out then.
Thank you,
Thank
friend. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a
See
good
you at
evening.
Topstone, maybe.
Thanks,
huh?
Yeah,
You gonna be there?
thanks.
Hugh, thank you so much. Appreciate
No
it.
problem. Thank you all. Cheers. Have a good evening.
All right, good
Thank
night.
you.
All right, so that, you know, I would like to, for the record, just take a vote on whether or not to recommend it to the council. Okay, so I would make a motion that we present to council to move forward with Youth on Course as presented by Bill Bigler and Hugh Smith. That's mine out, that's my
Yeah, second it.
second by Jim Norton. Any discussion? Okay, go ahead.
Where does their money come from to subsidize us? How would they generate it?
Fundraisers.
They're not for profit.
Okay.
Fundraisers, scholarship, yeah, they are not for profit, all the money goes back in. All right, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that's that. Mark and Jerry, you'll work with the CSJ on that. So we'll bring it to the next council meeting, eh? Should be able to do that, because the council meeting was Tuesday, so we have time to put that on the agenda.
So he's gotta come up with the agreement, I'm gonna have to show the agreement, so that's gotta get generated. The written agreement,
Okay,
so So
So
whatever
you
that,
want the agreement before you present
oh,
it?
absolutely, that'll be part of the package, yeah,
Okay, alright. So yeah, as soon as
Eagle's
we can
probably
get,
gonna look at it before you vote to come.
probably.
So the sooner the better you get that, Mark.
yeah. So let's get Bigler and Smith on that right away. Okay, old business, clock discussion. See what Stanley's doing? Did everybody get Stanley's email?
Yeah, she did.
$500, they get their name on the plaque for the clock.
So, is that, you were gonna looking for two options of what they
I did.
would cost and,
Yep, right now, I'm waiting on estimates from 2 electric companies for the 2 locations.
okay,
I know what the concrete's gonna cost for the
Okay.
pedestal. That's probably gonna be close to a $5,000 bill in itself.
either way.
Either way, because of the clock and the specs of the clock.
5,000 for the pedestal?
Yeah,
Jerry, is there a solar option or no?
there is, but it's not great, even the clock company themselves, the difference isn't a whole lot, and
This
It's
is
not
gonna be
a-
30 grand.
it's not a,
Could we,
it's not a reliable clock, let me put it to you that way. It's not as reliable as being hardwired.
Hardwire,
Yeah.
yeah,
but
yeah.
couldn't we start out with the solar and then hardwire down the road?
No, it's
No,
one of
two
the
different
other.
technologies.
Okay.
Yeah, when do you think we'll have those estimates?
He said by the beginning of next week.
So you got $5 grand for the site work and the concrete, not just pouring concrete, that's.
No, that's for the site work to trench.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
over there.
okay, okay.
That's,
Right, and then you have to
Okay, that
go.
makes sense.
that makes sense, cause I was like, wait, what kind of cover?
No.
Oh, I thought it was just to
That's
make
what
the
I was-
pedestal.
That's what I said too. So you're estimating approximately 5 for the pedestal and all the groundwork,
Not the electrical, correct? That
not
we
the
have-
electrical.
Yeah.
So
That's
that
what I'm
the
waiting on.
components would be an electrical work.
Correct.
Like, would that include digging up whichever way we're
Yeah,
going?
yeah,
A full boat.
Yeah.
The pedestal work,
Correct,
and then we have to get the clock.
then you gotta get the clock.
So there's 3 different amounts of money,
Correct, the clock.
Yeah.
The site work, the pedestal slash
say,
trench, and then the electrical work.
okay.
And so the $5 grand is the site work and the pedestal.
Correct, minus the,
conduit,
minus the electric.
It will, but yeah, just, you know,
Yeah, so that part of it,
got it.
that
Alright, so the
third.
conduit in the concrete, so they can pull the wires and blah, blah, blah.
Correct.
Yeah, got it, okay.
So when do you think we'll have the numbers?
That includes no landscaping now as well.
Okay. So so the 4th would be at least a minimal landscaping,
Mhm.
which hopefully you guys can do, right?
We could do anything, but, you know, I was hoping that the gentleman who did the masonry work this past couple of weeks would tackle that. He would, but he's booked now until fall. So, and you wouldn't get the clock before fall anyhow, I'll be honest, you know that. you know.
Yeah, I know,
You
well, that's why I'm looking for dates, because, you know,
Yeah.
we've been talking about this for a year now. So, if you get estimates for the electrician next week,
Yep,
then we know what the clock's gonna be.
Yep.
We need an update from her,
yeah, I
the
would
prices
just
are going
email
up,
her, yeah.
the landscape and all,
Yeah.
so we should have that
You'll have
all,
Darn good idea minus the landscaping, and I told him, and he's thinking, you know, he's so busy right now, but I said, just come on out, swing out, cause I wanna do some work on the cooler side as well, so I said, I know you can't get it to it till fall, that's fine, but at least come out, look at it, give me your thoughts, and, give me a ballpark, just give me a ballpark.
so for the next meeting, we would have 2 side by side, if we put it here, put it
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
okay.
But the landscape, couldn't we do that with volunteers? I mean, it's just
No.
going around, like, what's the problem?
unfortunately, in Berlin, there are no
You
volunteers,
can't do that.
we've been down that road before. How you gonna volunteer to do a masonry
I mean-
wall?
Yeah, no,
I mean, I'm not talking about the mason.
well, that's the bulk of it, I'm
I'm
He's
talking
not,
about,
no, he's not, no, he's
that's the
not,
bulk of it.
he's not talking about plantings, you're
you're talking about
pavers and whatever.
pavers and stuff like that.
Right, a
Oh,
base
I
that
thought you were
looks
talking about
nice,
the-
yeah. No,
When you say landscaping, about the
No,
flowers and stuff
Not
like that.
beautification.
hardscape,
Okay.
that's a better
The
term,
hardscape.
yeah.
You're talking about beautification.
Yeah,
Beautification.
that's the hardscape part.
Yeah, I understand, okay. Okay, alright, so we'll have that before the next meeting, so we can look at it before the meeting,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay,
I'll send it as soon as I get it next week.
okay.
Jared,
Well, I'd like to see all, like, okay, it's gonna be.
Yeah, that I'm, right now, like I said, that mason, we try and get him. just deemed to come out.
Now, that mason, for everybody's knowledge, he did the wall on 17, the pad for the bench on 17, and he did the pad for the grill area out near the tent. Did everybody get a
Yes.
chance to look at that?
Yes.
Yeah.
17 looks
nice.
great.
Jerry, what did he charge for all that work?
Well, because we added those 2 stairs, it was like $9,300.
$9,300.
Wow.
That's
For all that?
That's unheard of.
No, the bench, the bench.
Absolutely. The bench is not included in that price. The bench was donated by the Manzi Foundation.
Who paid for the pad? The chorus paid for the pad for the bench?
Mm-mm.
So the Manzi paid for that one too?
Well, we donate, I donated, or whatever, however you wanna say it.
The course did.
Of course,
Yeah, you didn't come out of our CIP.
The pad for the bench did not come out of the CIP. The wall and the pad for the grill
Yeah.
were $9,100. I don't know how you did it,
Yeah,
but that's
it was,
incredibly cheap.
It's very reasonable.
And it looks so
Yeah.
nice.
So, and it looks fabulous. The guys did great work. Jerry, does this have anything to do with,
Yes, it's got all that,
This
it's got
topic.
all to do with that.
so let's talk about this.
I got a note on this one.
You gotta know.
What's
Yeah,
that?
what is this?
All right,
That's your fountain.
That's my
I wanna
fountain.
talk about too, but go ahead.
So Jerry's always looking 24/7 for options, okay? So I was down at the shore at Lenny and Joe's, and I was going down Route 1, and I pulled into this garden center. They had a lot of nice statuary, a lot of nice stuff. And this thing just, I don't know, just drew my attention, and I went to it, I'm like, wow, this is really cool. Wouldn't this be nice?
Yeah, it's got.
Instead of the clock, to do something like this over by the gym #1 hole adjacent to the practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that's stonework, right?
That's all stone,
What, like concrete?
almost like a granite,
Oh, great, okay.
okay?
Hold on,
So-
hold on. It's 6:36. Joe Pulcini has joined the meeting. Hi, Joe.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late.
It's all right. Okay, go ahead, Jerry, sorry.
Okay,
That's all.
so I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my god, this thing's gonna cost an arm and a leg. And it doesn't, it's like insanely cheap.
Now, this is granite?
Yeah, to me it looks like granite, it's not a resin, it's not plastic, it's stone. But it sure as hell, to me, it looks like,
But it's not, how can I say?
and I can't bring you a piece, so
No,
I apologize,
Put it this way, it's not concrete or anything like that, it's
No.
gonna break. That someone can hit with something and, you know, if your car hits a monument, nothing's gonna do to your monument, your car's gonna be
I mean-
smacked up, but if this is, you know, anything that somebody poured and fired and did something like that and something hits it, it's gonna break immediately, right? Somebody hits this with a rock or something like that.
yeah, they hit it with a rock, it's not gonna break,
A club.
or a club, it's not gonna, they'll break their club.
Or their arm.
So anyhow,
Or you put a chip in it.
or you'll put a chip in it. No, I think you'll break your club before you put a chip in it. So I said, oh my gosh, this is gonna cost an arm and a leg. So I get out of my car, the sun's going down. And I look at the price, and the price is $12.99, $1,300. And I thought that was a damn good price for something, and I wish you could see
How
here.
big is it? How tall?
It's as tall as I am. So it's gotta be close to 6 foot tall.
6 feet.
And I says, okay, so what? So now we take this thing, we put it over by the #1 tee, we do the nice new stone wall with a pad, get the electrical over there, which we have to do anyhow, and with the $1,300 bill, with the electrical, the pad isn't gonna, it's not gonna be anywhere close. There may not, maybe be able to do it out of pavers. So that expense would go away. I says, they can afford this, pay for the whole thing out of their T-sign account. And
What is it?
it's a fountain, so
But
this
you
thing will
have
have water
So
flowing.
you have to run the water through.
You have to run water over there, okay, alright.
No, you
You
just
can
fill it up, it just
water
recycles, there's a pump
Right.
inside and it just recycles.
Oh, then you just throw some in periodically.
Yeah, you just fill it up occasionally from
I
evaporation.
see, yeah,
or
okay,
whatever.
okay.
So,
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
and
which-
then,
Right,
But you bought it?
I'm sorry, so then I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. And then if people at that point, because to me when I saw this, I don't know what went through my head, I'm like, boy, if I would buy a stone or a paver to put next to this as a memorial in memory of
Mhm.
Jerry Salvio, or whatever, you know, I would, because to me, that's kind of like what it says. It's almost like something
Like an eternal flame.
like an eternal flame.
Eternal
There
flame,
you go. And then I says, okay, that's cool too, because maybe you'll get more people to buy the pavers. And I thought with the monies, the nickels, the dimes, the quarters, whatever they throw in, we collect it once a week or whatever, and we donate it to something here in Berlin, the Upbeat program, or something.
I was thinking you donated it back to the clock.
No, it's one of the other folks, it's not both, I'll tell you that right now. And so you donate it back into town, back into some kind of youth program, pick one. This month, we're gonna be donating to Upbeat, next month, we're donating to the Little League, next month, we're donating to soccer, or whatever. So it kinda.
Alright, that's a good, I hate to say this, but this from an internal audit perspective.
Yeah.
You gotta worry about skimming. Anytime you deal with cash, there's always, it doesn't matter, I'm just telling you,
Okay,
there's always a problem.
I don't know, I just thought it was a nice
Well,
spot.
before you
And
got
it is, I'm not shooting it down, but I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, there's always a problem with cash.
Yeah.
Well,
Always.
before you even got to that point,
Yeah,
I think it's a decision about whether you're gonna have a clock or you're gonna have a phone.
because here's the, okay, I'm sorry.
It's one or the other, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, it's one or the other.
You can't do both.
I agree, yeah.
And then two, we keep talking about these pavers that we're gonna go out and solicit. Who's gonna do that? No matter which one we choose, whether they have these pavers or, so there's several decisions here. What are we gonna buy? You
Yeah.
know, what are we gonna use the money for? A clock or a fountain or something else? That's one decision. Second decision is the pavers. And who's gonna go out and solicit them?
You don't go out and solicit, you do it through social media, you do it exactly what Aaron Stewart just did today.
Fine.
Did you see what she did today?
And who's volunteering to do that?
Or publicity
We have a
person.
marketing person
Yeah,
who do that.
Okay,
publicity
so-
person.
So Deidre's gonna do that without any additional funding. She's gonna, she's
It's
gonna,
marketing, it's
so
marketing for
she's
the
gonna
board.
take care of all that? Okay, I just wanna
Yeah.
be clear
I
because,
would think that that's a
And they already
marketing.
have a list of, of
Yeah.
potential contributors, and our email list is large.
Now, the one, but the sponsors that
I've already
have
contributed.
already contributed,
Yeah.
don't get a paver, they should get, they
They're
should,
getting their bronze plaque.
they should get a bronze plaque, and
They're getting
absolutely.
their bronze plaque, so that's
With the
separate.
different levels, so that's
That's right,
separate, that
that's
is
separate.
separate.
And if
This
we-
needs to commemorate the 50th anniversary too. That was the whole point of this. So
That's
that
right.
plaque, that plaque needs to say something like that.
That's absolutely right.
Whatever the.
With the, yeah, ideally, with the years, I don't know if we can get the logo on it, but the different levels of the
And we
contributors.
still, and we would still need, now the president of the seniors, was very open to using that space.
Good.
Good.
You know, but we would also acknowledge them on the
absolutely.
plaque as well, because that was their.
You know, the bottom line is, whether you have a person buy a block or not, if nobody buys a block, you can afford it.
This-
Bottom line, you can afford it. You got 9,100 or whatever the hell it is, you can pay for this thing, pay for it in full, we're done. They get acknowledged. If people, like Pete says, if they wanna go buy a block, cause I know I'm gonna buy 3 right off the get-go. You know?
So where's
so-
where's your preconceived notion of exactly where you want it located? I know you said one. Is it right behind the blue tees? Like
No,
where you-
no.
No, it's
Where?
right-
It's where that weeping willow thingy is with the
That wall.
the wall gets
As you're
redone,
headed
The wall
towards-
gets
the
redone.
wall gets redone.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
So
it's,
it's
yeah, well, we're gonna
elevated.
So
put a
that's
block, we
right.
talked about
Okay.
there.
okay, so that's
So it gets
behind the
elevated,
blue tees.
that wall comes out, you do a nice wall.
Yep.
Something in tune with this.
No, I know
To
it
the,
was.
okay.
You know where it is now.
Well,
To the left of the path as you're walking.
Now, I have
Okay,
another
okay,
question,
okay.
do we have,
I know
I went
exactly.
back to all the
Yeah,
donors to ask
right.
about a clock and got their approval. Do we have to go back to all the donors and ask about this?
I would think so.
I don't think so either.
I would think
We
you would
make
have
the
to.
decision on.
You think that
Pardon
you
me?
do, Jim?
I think that you would. Just out of respect for them, I would just tell them, listen.
I think they may even be more receptive to it. Just my opinion, I don't know. I may be.
Oh, you
I
run
don't
it
think we
by
have to
them
go back,
anyways.
we don't have to
No,
go back
you
and ask
definitely
them.
run it by,
I
but
think
this is a definite, this is something that we can afford and we can definitely say that we can do.
You could do it.
With the clock, we're still.
Was there an issue with asking the town for money? Is that part of the problem, that they said, going to the town and said, listen, we're short, we need,
Gail, did her due diligence. Gail, audience of citizens, went to the council.
And
Jim, were you
I
doing
just
that?
laid, I
Jim
just
was-
laid the
And then you
groundwork
ground-
that we might come back to them and ask
Yeah.
for money, that's what I did.
When was that?
What was their
Oh
reaction?
gosh, it was over the
That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
So
Do we
fine,
use the
you wanna go
fundraising?
back and answer that? To be honest with you, I think the clock's a great idea, because sometimes I'm always looking around. And even though you have it on your, I don't wear a watch anymore, I don't know anybody that wears a watch anymore,
Yeah.
right? My kids do, no offense.
Fitbit.
Yeah, alright, whatever. You know, whatever, I just,
On your
I-
phone?
usually you have an idea what time it is.
Yeah, is that
It's on your
so?
phone, right? I mean, it's like, but it'd be nice to see a clock up there, and you
Yeah.
know, being at Stanley a
That
couple
would be
times,
really
I've seen
nice.
that, and it is beautiful.
I only
It's
think-
stately, right?
It is stately, but you know, there are options at 2 o'clock on a pedestal too. Wanna see one? I can show you that too. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open,
Oh,
I
let me
just,
see what
I
we
wanna
got here
get
in our
this
bag of tricks
accomplished.
tonight.
Well, let's, I mean,
My glasses on.
do it right? And I understand that everybody, listen, we gotta get this thing done, we gotta get this.
No,
thing
we don't
done.
have to get that,
No,
what can you
but that's-
afford? What can you
Well,
afford?
I think they're both important questions,
Yeah, what can you afford?
I think
I
they're both
don't, and I can't
I
speak,
think sponsors are, I know, I've heard, some of them are anxious to
I mean,
have.
I cannot speak for the town of Berlin, and I will not speak for the town of Berlin, but to get monies from them at this point, it may not be the easiest thing.
No,
But I could be completely wrong, they may say, hey, you know what, yeah, we'll give you a $10,000 bill, knock yourself out. But by the time you get through with the pavers, the installation, the cost of the
that's my
clock, the
concern,
electrical,
it's getting,
you could be pushing a $20,000 bill.
For the clock?
Yep.
I'm figuring 25, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too, but I was just trying to be nice.
I'm more realistic, 25.
You're looking at a $25,000 bill.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, electricians don't.
But it'll be there forever, right? Let's just
Well,
call it
this
what
will
it
be
is.
there forever too.
Well,
And I'm not saying,
did you have another clock option?
yeah,
Cause people like.
So when do we plan on putting this clock in here? Does it have to be this year? Is it gonna be this year, next year?
Well, that clock is
Whatever.
all-
How
you wouldn't
soon?
have that,
It won't be till
It'll
It wouldn't be-
fall
you-
to where he's saying.
the early-
So I mean, is it, like, if it doesn't have to go on a right away, and then if we don't have the money to do what we wanna do to make this nice clock, is there a way that we can do like a tournament to raise more money so we can do it all ourselves? So we don't have to do it today, it could be next year, the year after, but we're gonna get a clock.
well,
We're
the
gonna
thing
raise
is,
money to get a clock.
if you want a clock this fall, late fall, you gotta place the order right now.
Exactly.
Cause they're probably close to a year out right now,
Okay.
making the clocks.
So by making like.
So if you know, if you have a tournament this summer or do whatever this summer and you're saying, okay, Jerry, I got my money in here to September, you're looking at next spring or early summer, I would think. That's the kind of lead time they need.
I can fly to China and get one quicker.
My 2 cents, I'm gonna give you my 2 cents.
Yes, go ahead.
So I was up at
Stanley's got a
Springfield
clock.
Country Club. They mounted
Yes.
it off the side of the building.
So now Timberland gets a clock.
Yeah, I don't think-
So now, oh, well, Stanley got a clock, so now Timberland gets a clock. I don't know, I think this would look, really think this would
I
look
think-
cool,
I think
personally, I think the fountain would be real
Like the
classy.
Springfield Country Club, Jim,
You know what, we just, I just, no matter what, we need a clock. There's nothing that I can see ever, you know, to know what time it is, what's going on, that everybody can see either from the putting green, or from the starter shack, or from first hole, or the 10th hole, right? So wherever it has to be put, it has to be put, but there's still no clock there,
that is an option.
Oh, you
Right.
saw it, Jim?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
and
sorry,
you know
I'm sorry, I
what,
didn't mean
that's
to-
kind of,
Can I see it?
that's kind of a good idea.
I
I mean,
have
if
no
we-
idea what that costs.
If we
No
need a
idea.
clock,
Well,
well,
it's not 20 grand, I can tell you that.
yeah,
No.
exactly.
But that's
But
on
we
the
also,
building,
our building isn't
Don't
very
have all the
conducive
Our building
to
is
that.
receptive to that.
so you can put a sign, a pole there, put the clock up, is that what you
Yeah,
do?
that, our
No,
building,
it's attached to
So
the
Jim, you saw, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Especially
did,
yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't really work for a building. But
No.
I like the idea.
you don't think we could find a place in the building for some, listen, I
Not
like the
that you could
pedestal
let-
one,
Not that everyone
Not
got
that
it.
Not that you could see from the
From
places
everywhere.
you wanna see, which
No.
is the putting green.
No, because you do it over the pro shop actually.
Everybody has one of these in their pocket.
Exactly.
So don't
Everybody carries.
don't tell me that you can't tell what time it is.
You're right.
Everybody has this in their pocket,
But it has to
everybody,
do, right now it's still with beautification.
I I understand that, I understand that, but I mean, you know, we've done it without a clock since 1970 over there.
No, we used to have a clock,
So from here
There was
to
a
here
clock at
is
one
about
point.
Yeah,
six.
right there where the,
From
You
here
know,
to here.
let me ask you
on
a
the side of
question,
the
Jerry.
building, and you knew what time you were gonna tee off.
This could, I mean,
It was,
this could even be bigger with what we pay. I mean, it could even be bad, I don't know, can you, see, I can envision that. I kinda like this idea personally, I think that's neat,
If you saw it in real life, you'd probably change your mind.
that I would
When
want it.
No, you would, because when I saw it, I'm like,
Well, I can envision a wall where people can actually sit around
Is it-
fountain
what color is
with
it, Jerry?
memorial
it's like a
favors.
granite
I
color.
could.
This is a picture of it during the day. Here you go, Nick.
oh, yeah.
Jerry,
What's that?
I can see like a little wall where people can sit around.
Well, then I was going to illuminate around
That's nice too. That's nice.
it. What it?
Oh, that would look nice on the
That would
top.
look
Wouldn't
beautiful.
you buy one for your dad?
Looks like
I would, yeah, I would buy one for my dad and I'd buy one
sister,
for me and
I'd buy
Shelley.
one for my daughter-in-law, my mother, father. I
I would buy one for my parents and for
Sure
me
you
and
would.
Shelley,
Sure you would.
first day.
I would be there right beside you.
There's $1,000 right there from me.
If there's any naked pictures of me, just keep going.
And there is a.
If you don't turn into a pillar of salt.
We have the social media coming out.
And we could use him as a statue, put it on the first.
There's my grandson.
Jerry, I would really, really, really like to have someone mock up what that place would look like on paper. You know anybody that could do that?
I do, actually.
Victoria, well, she's not here anymore, she would do it.
I can call her, I got her number. You can't do it, Pete?
I'm not an architect. We need special software for that.
Well, let me try. I do have her contact information, I could
Well,
reach
that would
out
be
to her,
very
she's down
helpful.
there.
Well, because you get a vision of what it would look
Mhm.
like.
Right,
We
if
all
you
know
had,
what, we
if
all
you
know
had a
what a clock
rendering.
looks
Yeah,
like.
but that.
If you had a
And I
rendering.
envision this with
Yeah.
the wall around it, with
Right.
a walkway going into it,
Yeah.
where people can sit over here.
Illuminated at night, on a timer.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I think it would be
That's
very nice,
pretty
it'd be great to have
gorgeous,
a
I mean.
rendering, I think it's very.
I'll do the best I can, I can't guarantee anything.
No, I get it.
So that's not steel, is what you're telling me, right?
Oh, gosh, no.
It's not granite either, right? That, I can.
I'd have to ask,
It's
it
sometimes-
sure as hell looks like, and it's not a resin because it's heavier than hell. So I know some of the statuary, going back to mine, they were actually making it in resin, but this is stone, like a polished,
Yeah.
semi-polished granite, yeah.
It looks nice.
Yeah, it looks like a
beautiful,
composite
huh?
to me.
I'm sorry?
Looks like a composite.
Of some sort, yeah, that was poured, right? It looks like it was poured.
Yeah.
It's poured, yeah.
Alright,
It's cool.
Well, it's just an idea, I just
So-
wanted to throw it out there, you know, cause I said, you know what, we can afford this
It is
well, while we're
affordable.
we're waiting for bids for the clock, for electrical and everything
for the
else.
electrical, yeah.
Jerry, can you get?
I'll do my best,
Get an estimate
yeah.
on this with
Yeah.
the wall and everything for,
I'll do my best I can with our buddy, you know, it's hard,
okay. Anything else on the clock / fountain / donation /
This we can do right now.
sponsor?
We don't have to wait 10 months.
Okay, donation request. Coach B.
Hold on, before we go into that, Peter, I mean, just to kind of rehash what we went through last, we get, you asked for comments from everybody.
Yes, I received comments from Jim Norton, Jim Ugella, and Dale today.
You didn't get mine?
You didn't give me any,
I sent you the comment about,
not to me, you didn't.
So
I
we gave
never
them,
got yours.
you gave them today,
I just sent them today.
and you, today?
No, last week.
yeah, and I
No,
sent mine out.
I'm waiting to get them all
Mine
together
are,
to
mine are
present.
very
Cause
brief.
you said, bring up the comments about what, you
Yeah.
know, what you want.
Zoning commission meeting, do you know that?
Which commission?
Planning and zoning?
Planning and zoning. Hey,
Hey,
You might wanna ask, actually,
Christie's.
go down the end of the hall and, look for the town manager's office, she'll be able to tell
you
you.
ride the bike here? No?
too dark.
So, I knew that Gail had stuff coming, so I didn't do anything until I got
Yeah,
her.
well, I sent you my list
Alright, well,
about,
can you send it again, sir? Was it, it wasn't a document or anything, it was just.
no, you just send us, because you said,
I
send a
couldn't have
listen about what you want the council to hear about us,
it. Correct.
right?
Alright, can you do
And
that,
I have brought it back in and said, okay, did you talk to the council about the right view? What happened to that?
And I said, no, we didn't talk to the council about right.
Or wasn't that, weren't we supposed to bring?
No, we're supposed to bring up our thoughts, our comments to Peter,
Right.
then we'll.
And then he was gonna
surmise them,
summarize
and
it.
then
And I
I'll
said-
summarize it, so now, last call, if you don't say anything, you can't, don't, I don't wanna hear it. Because I'm gonna put everything together,
I sent it.
I'm gonna put everything together and send them all out within the next week or so.
Okay, so put a hard date on this, so all comments to Peter by the 25th, which is, it doesn't matter, you know, that's what's it, Monday the 25th, fair enough?
Yeah.
Anybody's got a comment,
Okay.
give it to Peter by Monday the 25th, fair enough? That gives you, this is simple stuff, man, it's just.
I'll put it all together, and
Yeah.
this will just be everybody's thoughts. I'm not gonna put a formal document together, this will just be a accumulation of everybody, what they put down and what they're thinking.
And then we can discuss that and go forward.
That's fine.
Fair.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Donation for Coach V Memorial Golf Tournament.
Does everybody know who he is?
No, I don't.
Okay, he's the Berlin High basketball coach, very well respected in this town, and the kids.
I wouldn't go that far. I'm only kidding.
Yes, he really is.
Did you introduce me to him at that soiree? No, that was somebody else.
No.
Okay, sorry.
No, I know him from the
I know-
basketball.
Yeah.
okay. And he passed away.
Oh, he
Yes,
died.
Yeah,
Very, or he's young.
Jim Cantor.
Is Craig related?
Craig Norton?
Yeah.
No. Craig, Alec is Craig's son, is a member over at Indian Hill, and Viz was up the, a member of
Can we just
there
say this
also.
is, doesn't have to be in the minutes, I've given,
Alina.
Alina.
Elena, this is just, you know, I don't think you have to
The-
capture
yeah,
every
the
word
word
of
for
this
word doesn't have to
aside.
Yeah, okay, that's fine, I just
Yeah.
wanted, but, so everybody's got a
Craig's-
chance to read it?
Craig's doing this
Yes.
stuff also together.
I'm just looking for zoning.
If you take this hallway, take a right and go, town manager's up, there'll be a secretary there, she'll be able to direct you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Just saying,
Put a big sign on the door, this is not planning.
this is not being.
So, and was everybody able to read it? This is definitely Berlin related.
Yes, yeah.
Without question. So
I wish
You
it
can make
was-
a motion to.
I wish it was at Timberland,
Yeah.
but this
Well,
guy is,
Listen, Mike lives in town, Lara still lives in town, the two boys are still around, right?
Okay, Hey, Jim, you were making a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Well, what are we approving?
Approve it, well, then we're gonna force them.
It'll be a force.
Our normal force them with a cart.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
thank
it's a
you.
kind of a no-brainer on this.
Yeah.
I second it.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wonderful.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
I have a late entry that I wanna get off my desk, from Miss Patty Murphy of Burnham Street in Berlin. They are having a pasta dinner at the Italian Club here in town on May 21st. The money raised from the raffle will go to the Connecticut Breast Health Initiative. So they are requesting the round of golf and the, which includes the card.
And when are they having their event?
The 21st of May.
All right.
Is the pasta dinner.
Is she,
She's a town employee too.
She is,
correct?
yes.
she's a town employee?
She is.
So she's involved in this?
Yeah.
Is she a member of this initiative?
I would
This
assume so,
organization?
yeah.
But it doesn't benefit the town of Berlin directly.
No, it's going to the breast cancer, the proceeds go to breast cancer. That's up to
I
you
need
guys.
I need a motion.
I'll give a motion to approve it.
I will second that.
Good deal. That's good.
Discussion?
Is she doing this through the town? Is that,
No,
or she's just doing this?
They're doing that
through-
at the Italian
No,
Club.
no, I understand that, but she's doing this, she's a town employee, right? She's with the BNA or something?
She is with the BNA.
Okay,
just like any other town employee could do.
yes,
So there would be many.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be a lot of people from Berlin there.
Okay, we got discussion? Hearing none?
No, we didn't vote on that yet, did
No,
we?
we didn't vote on it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I can erase it.
Positive thinker.
Jerry, tough crowd.
Okay.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed?
Aye.
Gail opposed? Everyone else in
No, you're
favor?
right, okay.
Okay. All right, the estimates, Jerry.
Yes, I just got these because I want you to see what things are costing nowadays. And this is just regarding asphalt. So I had a couple of contractors come out, you've got one, the New England Blacktop, I just got the general estimate this morning. And as you could see with New England Blacktop, if we were looking at the number 16 project to complete that cart path up there, where are we, 16, we're looking at 17.2 for that run. And the other I got from General, which, now this is.
This is just up on top up there.
That's just up on top, so we're gonna saw cut into the old. There's like a little cutout where we had to cut to access the irrigation, so we'll cut that out and start there and go to, I think there's almost like a natural break as you enter onto 17, and so we're gonna go there. So, you're looking, how many linear feet, 3,000 square feet. It's quite a long run, but anyhow, the New England Blacktop estimate for 17.2 includes everything, the removal, the base, and the asphalt, and the curbing. The estimate I got from General, which is 11.5, doesn't include the removal. We would have to do the removal, we would have to bring in the base material, and from that point, they would grade it, roll it, and do the blacktop and the curbing. And that's 11.5, so if you were to add that into the general estimate of 11.5, you're probably gonna come darn close to the 17 that New England is proposing. I'm doing this only to show you what stuff costs. I mean, it's not cheap, especially this year. You know, the same project, yeah, it's all petroleum related. I mean, we're paying now fuel surcharges for deliveries that we've never done in the past. The cost of materials, whether they be materials like this, or parts, or whatever, or chemicals, seed has doubled, chemicals are up 30-40%. So I'm just doing this as a FYI that.
Jerry, why does it have to be 10 feet wide? Can't we get away with 7?
No, because if you go 10 foot and you do curbing, you're gonna lose a foot on each side, so you'll be 8 foot finished.
Oh, okay, all right, so the
So
10
if you did 8
okay,
foot
got it.
path, you're gonna be 6 foot finished. So if you're gonna do it, you may as well do it right and give them,
I thought it was a finished 10 feet.
no,
Okay.
no, it'll be finished 8, so subtract 2.
Gotcha, okay.
So this is done by the pro shop?
No, now, if you look at New England Asphalt and their proposal for the pro shop area,
This is up on 16, near the, instead of
Right.
going to the white birch. You know how everybody drives over a mound and goes around that tree, parks near that
And then it's
tree?
going down that
This
hill.
would prevent that, so the cart would go up the hill, it would have a curb, so that they can't,
Okay, I got you.
and then it would
can't
go right to 17,
go
so
right
it'd be,
tie into
that
17.
mud, all that dirt goes away.
And again, thank you, Pete, so going and looking at the pro shop area, that would go from the new asphalt, which we did, I don't know how many years ago, down the little hill there, to the down Beach Drive, if you will, beyond the starter shack, and that would get saw cut and tied in there. And that in itself, and that's only doing from what you say, you know, Mark's door to the curbing, the existing curbing, and not touching anything from let's just say where the drinking fountain is going towards, you know, the asphalt ramp. Doesn't include any of that. It's just that path, you know, parallel to the building and tying into the existing curbing where the fountain is, saw cutting down baits, and then tying into the new stuff up there. And you're looking at 17 17.7 there.
And that's the blacktop or,
That's blacktop.
would the, so the stone would be more than the blacktop? I mean, you're basically making a road, like a cart path.
Yep.
Okay?
Yes.
So instead of using the blacktop, I mean, couldn't you use stone or something else?
No.
No.
No, not, that's not in that area.
Too much traffic, there's so much traffic.
Okay, we're talking about number 16, going up 16.
No, we're talking about for the pro shop now.
Pro shop.
16's
Oh,
all.
I
Pay
got,
attention.
okay, I got lost, sorry.
No, the pro shop.
Oh, you talking about the pro shop, okay, yeah, I was thinking you were still out there on 16. Okay.
So
The pro shop is different because that's, you gotta, that's all blacktop.
But it's a good point, so, I mean, just consider where we are in the world right now, right? Just kind of take a step back. You know, knowing that everything's petroleum related, right, and it's skyrocket, right? So, and even the forecasts are saying like, it's not gonna come down in the fall either, right? So you have the same thing going on, so the earliest anything's gonna come down basically is early next, probably
Maybe.
December,
Yeah, maybe.
January, right, is what you're looking at before things are, normalize,
Yeah.
right? So, do we think about taking millings
Yes.
for just 16 to get by for the year? I mean, it's a crapshoot, it's really what you're doing, you're hedging your bet, right? So you put millings down there for now and get through this year and see what happens. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, no, because I'm trying to do something, and I've been on the phone, and he's actually coming out to take a look. The millings, I agree. I thought the same thing. Millings, it's not a great look,
no,
cosmetically,
but it gets you
aesthetically.
by doing,
But it gets you by. It's not gonna give you the curving, so we would have to rope it,
So what's that, what would that cost
Millings?
We
It would
got
just cost us
millings
our time.
to put them down? Because you're not gonna do it, you're
Yeah,
gonna hire
we-
somebody to do it.
No,
the
we would
millings
not.
they put down.
Yeah, we would put it
Yeah,
there.
we have millings when they mill that over there.
But
They
the
got
others-
millings there
The
already.
only I'm saying is that you got a lot of things in the air, right? Now, if you think about it, you have 10. That's just like an abomination every time you go over there, right?
Mhm.
We still have 4 to fix, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got a lot of, there's a lot of things going on right now.
Yeah.
And we still need, rather than pick up something new, let's get these things done. And then start going forward, say, fine, all right, now let's prioritize what we wanna do next, right? And that's just my opinion of how.
No, I'm just trying to keep what we can in-house, instead of outsourcing it, because right now, we've come pretty far on 10, and it's really coming together pretty nice, and the mounds are taking shape.
He did a lot of work on that today, I think.
Yeah, we did a lot of work,
I
so
like the
that's,
way it's,
you got
I like that.
the topography, so, and then from there, we have to go to 4 and finish that up, and then the small areas,
Even the blacktop was 4, it's all, someone's gonna break an ankle.
we're on 4.
4,
What, the cart path?
yeah, the carpet, I'm between 4 and 5, right there.
Oh, absolutely, that's gotta go, but
That's just a
see,
matter of
that's, to me, that's a project that I want to reroute that cart path, and I wanna reroute
Yeah, you
it to
said
the
that.
other side. And then that all just becomes grass, and it'll look really, really nice, especially if we do a couple of mounds in the back of that as well. But it's a project, and it's, something that would have to get outsourced because of the rerouting.
Because of the
cart path.
rerouting and the
And you're
rerouting.
talking,
There's an awful lot of work to do there, even
Yeah.
when
There
we
is,
get to
just
the
to-
tee box where the roots are starting to come up. Is an option to, I'm going back to in front of the
I forgot something, go ahead, I'm sorry.
in front of the pro shop, because I'm trying to picture how bad it actually is. Is it an option that we can actually patch it and go to one of those companies to do the renewable,
You
they
can,
put the renewable
A thin coat over it?
no.
Yeah,
You
I
can-
mean, I've seen neighbors and,
Yeah,
we
you-
looked at it for our house to,
Well,
we put that thick asphalt
Right.
liquid over it and will we buy some time with it? Especially during,
I mean, there's some stuff that's broken up, I mean, if you
It's-
really
I'm
look
trying to
at it,
envision
yeah.
how bad it actually is.
Just look at it while you're walking, because a lot of times you just walk and you get there, but
Right.
if you really, it's really broken up, it's not a
So-
crack.
So that renewable
actually-
stuff is really a
yeah,
good
it's-
idea.
It's,
Okay,
it's kinda like throwing good money after bad.
okay.
That's really just a sealer.
Yeah.
And that's
very
really
clean.
Now, if you have something valuable there and you says, well, it's kinda faded and I wanna dress it up, yeah, knock yourself out.
But
and
that's not
and
one of
put
the
it-
options for that area.
It's not gonna repair anything.
Okay.
Jerry, would they be able to get double duty if they were to do this pro shop and run the electrical while all that stuff is gone?
Depending on what he comes, and, you know, we're thinking to do. If we go to the one area, we're thinking to put a sub panel in the starter shack. And tap into that.
I mean, you're not gonna put in a new asphalt and then have them cut it.
No,
up.
Put a conduit underneath or something, you don't need something pretty rough,
Right.
something, yeah, exactly,
No,
home run, couple home runs in there.
No,
Well,
we're
the thing is,
hoping,
what they do when they come in,
no, we're hoping, cause there's already conduit underneath going to the starter shack. So we could tie into the fuse box in the utility room, utilize, cause we looked at the conduit, the size of the conduit, what's in it, we got plenty of room. So we're not gonna, if we go and we put a sub panel in the starter shack, we've got plenty of room in the conduit that's feeding the starter shack from the utility room. If we go to number one, the only thing we would have to saw cut would be the road. But the conduit that's already there, Pete, between the utility room and the
No, I
starter
get
shack
that,
is
I
plenty
get
big.
that, but
So
I
we're
mean, you're not
stopping
gonna,
anything.
if you're gonna go to number one, it's gotta go from the starter shack
Yeah, we're gonna
to.
go in that bed, you know, where she's got the bird feeder,
Oh,
We're
okay,
gonna stay in the
dig-
bed.
okay.
and then you'll go across like a little
Other angle,
45
gotcha,
and
gotcha.
pick up over on the
Alright,
other
so
side.
the blacktop there
The
doesn't
blacktop will
has
not
nothing to
get
do with it,
affected,
okay.
well, what you're talking about, that area you're talking about, will you mark that out? Like show the white lines and stuff?
Where
Down
by
in
the
the
pro
pro
shop?
shop?
Yes,
Right,
yes,
okay.
yeah, you saw
So
it.
you're gonna, they're gonna saw that out, they're gonna have to come in and dig it out eventually, they gotta dig that.
They saw it cut first,
Okay.
then they dig it out.
Okay, so right there,
Yeah.
from the little spot that you have to go across the road
Mhm.
to where you wanna put the clock at.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have that much to dig out, because if they come in and mill that stuff out, you're off, your base, your bottom already, that's already loose now. So you can put your wiring there, and the only thing you have to do is make that little cut across the road to put the clock.
That's what we just said,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but no, he didn't, no, but like I said, you gotta cut that out, but, so you're not talking that much money. Because you're already coming in digging out, and you just make that trench that
It's
goes
just
right
pipe,
there.
you put
That's
piping
all.
in there,
It's
right?
like the trench.
So you're
The
gonna-
conduit's already there from the utility room to
Right.
the starter shed.
So it shouldn't
What we
cost that
got- what we
much
gotta
money,
go
right?
is from the starter shed, if we go to the number one area, we've got a trench in that bed where the bird
Right.
I
feeder
just,
is.
you know,
Saw cut the road
yeah,
and get over to the other side. And that'll all be in conduit. And that's gotta go down below 2 feet, that's.
3 feet down or whatever,
Yeah,
it's gonna
it's
put,
a,
you
it's a
know,
deep
you
dig.
but if you're there, you have it opened up, I mean,
Exactly.
just put more piping in there as home runs, and it's, cause you never, I mean, you
Oh,
know
no.
what, you just never know what you're gonna,
Oh,
and it's
yeah,
cheap at that
absolutely.
point in time.
Yeah.
If it's open, yeah, you
Yeah.
put a,
You
you put a
yeah,
cap and where
Yeah.
the road is, and
Right.
we make a note where it is at some point if we have to use it.
you got it, and it's just,
Yeah.
And just cap it off.
That's
No,
just-
you're right.
But, you know, looking at that, you know, 17.7, I don't think it's happening this year.
So where does this, I was gonna say, where does this proposal fit into your whole capital plan? I
This
mean-
right now,
Yeah.
I was in hopes,
Yeah, you
especially in front, I'm not overly concerned about 16, because like Jim said, you can always do that in millings, you can rope it off and call it a day. It's not the best looking thing, but it's better than what's there. I'm really concerned about the front of the pro shop, I really think it's a safety issue, I really do.
That is.
That concrete isn't getting any better, and every winter it gets a little bit worse. It looks like hell, and that should not be the impression that people are getting when they come into that golf course.
Somebody's gonna chip, and then it's.
And then that 17,000 is gonna seem cheap.
You never know.
And
It's
what about
something the town
pavers,
should do,
the
just
pavers,
based on insurance, on
Yeah, well,
liability side.
is the pavers in front of the pro shop an option? Like you did such a good job, or that's more costly?
Yeah, you're looking at pavers like he did at
Or partial pavers?
$25 a square foot for pavers. They're expensive,
You better off with the black.
so.
Um,
I just wanted to present it, just so you guys see what that, you know,
Very
what we're
costly.
thinking.
Everything's costly.
Everything is costly, I'm trying to do as much in-house as we can, try and save some money.
Jerry,
But you're right, Jim, yeah, we got plenty of stuff on our plate right now.
on the fourth hole,
We got a lot of millings.
you have a big pile of dirt there, on the fourth
Oh, yeah,
hole.
the front, the new tee, that the
You're gonna
proposal.
make a
Forward T, yes.
Okay, good. That's what we were wondering.
Jerry, today I noticed, the town won't give us a truck. You know, I was watching Billy going back and forth with the backhoe.
Yeah,
I mean, the town wouldn't let a dump truck come down there and
this
dump
time
that
of year,
stuff.
those trucks are all out. Parks is out, highway
I mean,
is out.
that's insane. I mean, that project there that we got going up there on 11. I mean, that should have been straight, raked out,
absolutely.
done and everything. I
Yeah.
mean, and what he's doing with that, look, it's not a full bucket,
No,
you know, and I mean,
Yeah.
that's just time going back and
I
forth
know.
back. And with a truck, you can do that a lot
Well,
quicker.
I'm
That's-
hopes that, you know, they cut all the capital, you know, or they're proposing there's not gonna be any capital this year. So they're telling me that once we get to the end of the year, whatever monies are left, they're gonna be looking at things, and one of the things I'm gonna request is a dump truck, because we're not working smart.
I mean, that's just.
And that just, not just that project, there's other projects. We need a dump truck. We need a little 1-ton dump, we do. We do. And I don't care, it doesn't have to be new, I don't want new. Buy me something, a nice, good, used dump truck with a plow. You know,
Like I tell you, like I said before, like I mentioned before, the town, I mean, the state of Connecticut do auction, they auction the trucks off, the surplus. You can go there and you buy it, and the town gets it cheaper than anybody.
Town gets first crack at it.
Exactly.
Town has first crack at anything,
Mm.
other than a state agency, and I've already
Right.
discussed this with the town manager before Roche, that they did this all the time, and
Yeah.
you're crazy not to.
right now, there's
Look,
none.
well,
Like I said, the capital so far, they cut the capital.
I have a question.
So we did have, to answer your question, we did have that in there as part of our capital, but at least right now, and I'm not saying come, you know, June, that there isn't gonna be some monies left over, and then that they don't do something and buy us something, but right now, it's not happening, not right now.
Gary, this is about the rates.
Mhm.
Is the 90-year-old season pass special, is that only for residents?
No, it could be anybody. I only
We
know
have
the
a
one,
lady that's turning 90 next year.
good for her.
Yeah.
I hope she comes up and plays golf.
She plays with a man that is 97 and still plays
God
golf.
bless him.
Look at Willie, 96.
Willie,
Yeah.
you never know what to
Right.
look at, he's still driving,
He drives, he guards, he lives by himself.
plays cards.
Are season passes for residents only?
We have non-residents.
Yes.
Resident, non-resident.
So that would be a non-resident,
But it would
The
be,
90 and older.
90-year-old,
do you
Yes.
have a special
No.
line, or is that 200 for resident or non-resident?
Resident or non-resident.
Okay, good, well, that's good to know.
Okay. Oh, here, what's this Lens PNR policies?
Oh,
Okay, so you guys,
can you
and
see
they're
it?
going on May 3rd to the council, the policies that you've already done, and they're going for approval on May 3rd to the council. So what I did was, I reached out to Len, I said, Len,
Len who?
Zelensky. And I said, what do you got? What do you got on the books? And he says, this is what I'm gonna send you, this is what we had when we were under PNR. So, I wanted to present it to you, you guys could look through them. If you wanna pick one or two or three and make some changes, and then we'll do it, you know, a formal policy, and we'll take it to council. Whatever you would like to do,
Now, could I ask
you can add.
what of these since you and Mark run operations,
Yeah.
which of these policies, whether we keep them or we refine them, would be helpful to you as you run operations?
There's one right now, or there isn't one right now. It's not a big deal, but it kinda is. At our last meeting, you know, we had an issue, not an issue, we had somebody observed somebody on the golf course with children, babies,
Right,
strollers.
Yeah, so what was the result of that?
Okay, so I contacted risk management and I says, this is what's going on. He said, yeah, no, because, I wish I could remember his exact words. Essentially what he said is, a child 3 and under does not possess the ability, I'm gonna paraphrase, to protect themselves.
Right.
You can't yell 4 and a 3-year-old's gonna say,
Okay.
you know,
Well, they
like
will
that.
just
Talk
let,
about that.
Okay, so that's good. So I called up Mr. Bly. Mark gave me his number. I called up Mr. Bly. I said, Mr. Bly. I said, it's been brought to our attention that, you know, you've been out there, you got a couple of strollers, the kids. And I says, I just want you to know I contacted the town risk manager, and we can't continue to do this. This is a no-no, and the reason being, like I says, 3 and under, they're not able to get out of the way should something go astray.
Yeah.
He got it, he was very nice, he was very nice, he goes, I get it, I won't bring him anymore. I says, you know, I
Even
thank
though
you.
we appreciate what you did, man, it's like.
Yeah.
I said, you know what, I'm a father, I'm a
Daddy, here.
grandfather, I says, God bless you, you and your wife are doing the best you can, but I says, yeah, we can't have that, we can't have that. So to answer your question, I wish, maybe we should put a policy in place where kids 5 and under do not belong on the golf course, and I don't care if that's riding in a cart with dad, you know, riding in a cart with dad or mom, because again, you know, my grandson's a little over 2 years old, if I yell for he didn't know what the hell to do.
But see, then, we're going back to school, because during the junior tournaments and stuff like that, there's kids out there with their parents watching their brothers and sisters play golf. Cause, you know, like
Yeah.
Sherry's.
No, that's a good
You
point.
see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that,
that's a
so,
valid point.
and I talked, cause the guy, the day I saw him out there, I went up there and I says, you know, I don't think this is a good idea for you to have your kids on the golf course. So I says, you may be getting a letter from the town.
Yeah.
About this.
Yeah.
So he says, you know, and I saw it last week, he says, I understand that, I got it. But like you said, it's going back to square one, so like when Mark, you guys do tournaments over there for kids, there's parents out there with smaller kids.
Other siblings too,
You see?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're back to square one again.
There's no clear cut thing going on here, you know.
Well, I'll tell you,
No, a policy like that
it's pretty clear cut that 3 and under, you're not on the golf course. I don't care if you're walking with
Well,
your.
suppose
No,
you,
but you-
we have a junior tournament.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
Think about this, we have a
Still
junior
not
tournament.
I know.
Be able
But
to
you-
respond, you know?
Wait, just one at a time. Mark, you're probably more in tune to chime in on this than anybody here, but if we have a junior tournament and somebody shows up, the parent shows up and they have, you know, another sibling with them, right? I mean, an infant, I got one of those papooses or whatever you call these things, you know. I said that with my kid all the time, walking, you know, and walk everywhere with them.
Yeah.
To Home Depot, it didn't matter. What do you say, you're not allowed on the course, you can't bring the baby on the course, you can't do that, I mean.
My suggestion would be that 3 and under shouldn't be allowed on the course
I
At all.
agree.
Right.
Yeah. 3
at
and under,
all.
You're not on the course.
Even if they're watching, they can't do it because they're in danger. They're basically in danger, you know, of an errant shot. I don't, you know, regardless of who they are or who they're watching,
That's
you
right.
know, I think that's probably the safest play here.
And I don't think that's even a question, I don't think the town's gonna allow, if something were to
Yeah, it's
happen.
not really-
Then we gotta post, then you
It's-
guys should be posted up.
No, other than we're gonna recommend a policy, it's not.
Right.
That's it, we're gonna develop a policy to
Which we
do with that.
should do, that's my
Yes.
question was what would be helpful to you?
That would be helpful, I'm
And it
only looking
sounds
at
like
it for
that would be
for the
helpful.
welfare of the child, because like I
Right.
said, like you said, Jim, with the papoose or whatever, yeah, I can appreciate that, but I'm sorry, I don't agree with that, it's, you yell for and that kid's in the papoose and, nah, I don't wanna be the one where the kid gets banged in the head or loses an eye, not me, no way. And the guy says, well, you know, we had the canopy on the stroller, I said, sir, you don't understand. Balls don't necessarily come from the top down, they come from the side, people shank them, and then I've seen people on 10T, almost in the rough on the left-hand side of 15, hitting off of 10 fairway, so, you know, it's just,
It's still shot at, it's still shot at 39.
you know, at least at 3 plus, maybe, I guess I get it, I don't
They don't
know,
do it.
it's been a lot of years.
Well, the other thing, you could try to put some parameters to say 3 and under not allowed on the course, ages 3 to 6 must be accompanied by an guardian.
Yeah, guardian
Yeah.
covered adult,
Yeah.
At all
Yeah,
times.
yeah, but 3 and under, I'll tell you right now, the town's not gonna,
Fair
it's
enough,
not gonna fly.
fair enough. So what are the policies are you looking to get out? I'll take another look at Lenny's of the things that they have out there, but what else are you looking for besides that?
I don't know, Mark, what do you think there, big guy?
Mark, did you have a chance to look at these? Because some of them actually are,
I kind of remember a lot of them, and they just definitely need to be updated because they're like completely different than what we currently do.
right, and that's,
The driving range is there again.
yeah,
Like,
and there's
that's
things that
irons.
contradict ones, so I would suggest that, you know, we look at this and then you, Jerry, you and Mark,
Yeah, why don't we, let's,
you
yeah,
guys
get
tell us
together.
what you need
Yeah,
from
okay.
us.
I agree.
That's a good idea, I like that, I like that.
It
Cause
works.
our goal is to advise you and help you.
Yep.
And
I'd
we
be
don't
willing
need
to
a
just go
policy.
through, I'll go through it all with Jerry and, I mean,
Yeah.
the structure of it, they hit pretty much everything there. It's
Yeah.
just that the wording's gonna be a lot different now.
It's gonna be different.
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
some things like, we don't have, reinstated during 2006 season, I mean, you don't put dates in policies, but
No.
that's another.
And, what's this application for the Timberland season pass?
That was part of it.
Oh, that's part,
That was
okay,
part
that's
of
one.
it.
That's just.
We don't even offer that pass anymore, so I think we could just toss
Stuff
that
like
one.
that, yeah.
Yeah, so you guys let us know which ones
Dudes
you
like
need.
that. That'd be good.
Okay, good.
Jerry,
works.
the clubhouse looks really nice painted.
Well, it's not,
It's
half
not
of it's
done.
painted.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
They,
the top,
they
the
did a
top.
bang up, and then all of a sudden they're not, they're, I know they're doing other things, but,
But they did
Well, during the
top
week
hat.
off, they gotta go to schools and stuff.
Looks good though.
It's good. It's
Um,
good, we'll get there, maybe. Someday.
okay. P and L, anybody?
I'll get my phone.
Yeah.
P and L?
Who's doing the P and L? Is that you?
Kevin, Kevin does that.
Yeah, Tommy's dyslexic.
Oh,
Because, the numbers, if they're going down, they're negative. If they're going up, it's positive. So if you look at your expenses,
Mhm.
they're all a positive, it means they're going up, but they're actually going down in this year, when I looked at that, right? So it's like, you just have to change the signs on them, that's all.
I don't really look at this.
Well, look real quick at some of this stuff, and it's like, I'm looking at this thing, you wanna see, red, where they're going down, where they're going up,
Mhm. I'm taking it.
but
That's Kevin, Kevin does that.
truthfully, Mark, what are you seeing as far as play goes? You guys see, compared to prior years, even though the weather has not been conducive to everything's going on, it doesn't seem as crowded as it has been in past, the past couple of years.
Last year.
So I mean, I looked the other day, I think I looked Friday to see how we were doing compared to last year, and our rounds were down slightly, but our revenue was about the same as last year at this time. All I'm seeing just visually is when it's nice out, our tee sheet's booked. So like tomorrow, we're booked from 7:30 to 4 p.m. We're booked solid. So I mean, it's strictly weather dependent, but I can tell you that even on some poor days, we've still had some play, which is good. I think we've sold more season passes than years.
yeah.
I would say, that's a given, but the card revenue seems to be down quite a bit too.
Well, that, you attribute that to, remember, we're working on
weather.
the fiscal year. So that
But
goes back.
Yeah, but it's weather.
It's weather related, everything's weather
We've already
related.
had a couple days on the back where we had
Yeah.
cards,
Yeah.
even this past week, as Mark knows.
I
was
think
actually
that us not offering specials with card included is really why it's down. That's my take on that. I mean, our rounds are down in general. Last year we did 6,000-7,000.
Well, that's it, around seem to be, I'm looking around the parking lot and it's not packed.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be like, it was
Even on
crazy.
weekends.
Yeah, but, I mean, every day is 30
Yeah.
mile an hour winds, if it's sunny out, it's windy, if it's,
Yeah.
or it's raining, we gotta
It's
just see
still
what
in
happens here.
yeah.
It's awful, this has been a very terrible school year.
Yeah, April.
I was actually surprised there was as much play today as there was, I really was.
It was brutal.
I saw
It
you
was
out there,
nice
I'm like,
and
yeah, there was,
early
yeah.
morning. But boy, I tell you,
I was surprised there was as much play as there was today, I
Yeah.
was.
I have a question on the P&L. What bucket is our marketing person in on this?
Advertising. Advertising,
Yeah.
Zero. Unless I read it wrong.
it says
No,
0.
8,500 is what we allocate for her.
Well, how come it's 0? It was last year and this year, so.
Yeah, I get it.
So, yeah, let me know. I'm just curious what bucket it falls in.
Yep, it is under advertising.
Well, it's not.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, how it doesn't show anything.
That's what,
It's not this coming.
maybe he's got it in another bucket, but I just,
No.
what bucket is it in?
No, it's all under advertising,
Yeah.
But it's not.
All right, so today, I just looked it up on the computer here. Today, we're 400 rounds less than last year.
Okay,
Well,
yeah, good, but
We-
that's
we-
good.
We actually opened a week earlier too this year.
Do we really?
Really?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise
But
me
last
with this
year,
weather.
did we open in February for a week, for 5
No.
days?
That was 2 years ago.
Time flies.
Yeah. That was the COVID year. We did
The-
49,000
The
rounds.
sunny days have still been cold.
Yeah.
I agree.
They've been windy,
No,
so-
it's,
Let's see what
We had
shakes
frost
out.
this morning.
did you really?
Yeah, they thought
They
there was gonna be a
frost.
frost delay.
I have heard some complaints about us not offering a discount because we have a temporary green. I have heard, some complaints about that.
One temporary green would complain.
Yep.
It's one of them is not mowed. Let's get
Yeah.
get your car off of that green. I told someone, get your
Well, they
car
put a couple in there.
off.
That's good.
Cost of a shot.
The cost of a shot.
Okay, moving along. T-sign, CIP budget.
I go over to bathrooms. What's going on with the bathrooms? There'll be a
I
tournament.
was gonna open them this week, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't get to, so I'll open them next week.
There's a tournament tomorrow night with the couples. And I can tell you for a fact, my wife is like livid. She's, I had to run off the course to go to the bathroom. I mean, and I've had other people say something to me like, how come these bathrooms aren't open yet?
Yeah, the plumbing for our bathrooms and our city water is in lined poly pipe, and in some cases, it's not even underground, it's above ground. And Mark remembers going back a few years, I got a call, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, and the drinking fountains were exploding. Because we had a cold night, or whatever, so if it were down as normal city water is, it wouldn't be an issue, but our stuff's right on top of the ground. And it doesn't take much to freeze it, and it's old,
Yeah, 'cause-
so that's why I kinda and I wanted to get it done this week, I just haven't had time. to get it done.
When I was out there today, one of the ladies, she had to come all the way back to the clubhouse to go
Yeah,
to the bathroom.
So it will be open next week,
We
guaranteed.
stopped after
Mark it down.
seventh hole
Yeah.
because of that, two ladies had to go to the bathroom.
Did we get a porta potty next year?
Well,
Exactly.
that's funny, it's interesting
Yeah.
you say that may be an idea. I mean, even for a couple of
Well,
months.
we do that
You
before.
get it for the month, because
month,
they don't
yeah.
prorate it.
It's,
So, but it's, and you know what, that's fine, if we know we're gonna go in March, you call up March Wednesday, bring me the porta potty on the 31st, or, I wish the hell they
Do it for the
prorated it
month, do it for the month of April.
April,
in
and
April.
it's done, so they're cheap, but
Yeah.
No, they're not, like $2.50 a piece, that was last year,
well, that's for the month.
that was for the month, yeah.
In the whole scheme of things,
That's
that's
not bad.
nothing.
No,
That'd be well worth it, because I had somebody go off on me the other day on the putting green. I was giving a lesson about the bathrooms. They thought it was, I was like, it's not me.
Stupid little things, man, it's just, I mean, it's those little things that.
Yeah, we'll just,
And those, I mean, truthfully, if you want Timberland to be at that next level, it's those stupid little things that just, they're just nicks. Every time you play ball, you get a foul tip off yourself. It's those stupid little things, and it just kept adding up, and you're like, enough is enough, and that's.
next year we'll just do it for April, for the final, well, it's probably gonna be more, but. All right, what's the balance, Chair, on CIP? please?
CIP is 15,630.83, no encumbrances,
None.
none. And you win.
$15,600, okay. And what is left to be done that has been paid, so there's nothing that, you're clean with everybody at this point in time,
Mhm.
right?
Everybody's paid,
The
everybody's
Mason.
paid that you've done to date.
The
So
Mason.
15,600, and then what's next on the list that you wanna take care of coming, the next, say, 2 months? Are you shut down for the fiscal year?
For CIP,
Yeah.
pretty much, because number one, I couldn't get anybody out there to do the work in the next couple of months, whether it be asphalt or whatever, I
Or
couldn't.
even grading on some of these holes that have to be, no?
All the people, they're pretty much, if you look at a place like Stonehenge, they're booked.
Yeah.
And, he always takes care of us. Something I'm thinking about, and I'm gonna go out to Avon and take a look and visit with them, cause I was with him up in West Springfield, the super. they converted to capillary bunkers. Okay, because the system that we currently have, the fabric, is old school, nobody does that anymore.
You said that when they went in, I said to John, I said, what do you keep going down this road?
Yeah, so I wish I had my show and tell, and if I got time, I'm gonna go get it, it's in my car. But anyhow, that's where I'd like to be going, and we can't do the whole project at once, obviously, it's not a cheap project, but it's a project that it's the last time I'll ever have to touch them, and probably the next guy as well. They tend to hold the sand better, they don't wash out as readily, you don't have to worry about fabric and staples and
What's the base?
Concrete.
it's concrete, it's capillary concrete. So when it's in, and just, if you maintain your depths, 4 to 6
You
inches.
don't have to worry about that.
You don't have to worry about a thing.
Cause roots aren't gonna come through and, okay.
This guy was over a couple weeks ago when they had a tournament there with the kids. He's an engineer and he mentioned it about our bunkers have too much sand in it.
They couldn't sponsor, they absolutely could,
They have
because
too much sand.
it washes down from the face and it goes into the belly, and you could have too much sand in the belly. Not so much on the face because gravity works, so in the bellies, yeah. I was digging on 12, trying to find the drain, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of sand as you walk into that left-hand bunker on 12. It's really, really deep because it just keeps washing. Bunkers are a full-time job. And Pete and I were talking today, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a list together of all the bunkers on the golf course. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna make some decisions. If we're gonna do this, if we're gonna go in this direction of capillary concrete, and I'll get you the numbers and so forth. I wanna actually go out and look at it, I wanna look at the finished product first. We're gonna sit down as a commission and we're gonna go through hole by hole. And we're gonna say, eliminate, make smaller, reshape, whatever.
Grass, some of them, seriously.
Exactly. We got way too many bunkers, because bunkers equal maintenance equals money and time.
Yep.
We are not flushed with any of that. So it's my suggestion, Pete and I, we talk, we're gonna get that list together, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna go through, even if we do, 3 or 4 holes at each meeting. What do you want? What do you not want? And not because you're always in that front bunker on number 4.
I know.
I'm sorry, but
8,000.
let's look at it and let's look, is it truly in play? Does it really need to be that large? Can we eliminate? Can we make smaller? Can we make it, maintain a bunker, but do a grass bunker? Do you really need that fairway bunker on 13? Do you really need a sand fairway bunker on 13? No, you could probably get away with a grass pot bunker. You could. We're trying to do things to bring it in, to make it less work and less time. The natural grass areas, a lot of people may not agree with it, but I'm sorry, time is money. And we can't be cutting grass just for the sake of cutting grass that's not in play. That's foolish. If you can make it aesthetically pleasing to the eye, it doesn't affect pace of play, then to me it's win-win.
I agree with you on the grass cutting. I guess I'm wondering, and I'm not thinking we have money to spend on this, but we're not golf course architects, any of us. And a golf course is designed by an architect.
You got a good point, I know where you're going with this.
And perhaps there are some resources at the CSGA
Good idea.
that can be true to what the golf course was originally designed,
Well,
and to be able to maintain key features to make the
Right.
course interesting and challenging
right.
and easier to maintain.
I didn't want to hurt your feelings, but I would take your suggestions and I would go to Doug Smith. He's the one, him and Stephen Kay, who did the original design. And I'm still in contact with Doug. And I would bring him in and say, okay, Doug, this is what we're thinking. What do you think?
Or could we do it the other way around? He's the expert.
He's the one who put all the bunkers in there in the beginning.
Yeah, you can go that route. You could say, hey, Doug,
The guy I was talking to, he was one of the engineers that came in here and did help design Timberland too. Cause he mentioned, that's why he mentioned that there's too much sand in these bunkers. So he had,
I think I think there's improvements to be made for a variety of reasons, I just don't envision us as
Yeah, we're not
experts.
experts, so I wouldn't wanna do that.
And you're right, because what happened over.
I'm with you, I'm like, no, take this one out, because I hit that one.
Well, yeah,
The other ones I
Not
don't
yeah.
even
get.
that, it's a matter of, you know, the making prioritizing, yes, you wanna save money, you
Which
wanna
one
make
is
it
the
easier
challenge,
to
it's still has to be challenging.
but you still have to maintain
this
the
is
challenge and the
Because
interest,
that's
so.
what Keeney and Goodwin did that, they brought them in, they fixed their whole golf course up and.
Well, and again, I know we don't have a lot of money to do it, but I think, I'm
Well, it
glad
is.
to hear
They're
that
making
you're
money,
considering
I love Keeney.
talking to these
They're making money
people who
there.
are the golf
Oh, yeah, I would
experts.
bring, like I said, I would bring Doug in, I've got a very good working relationship with
Maybe bring
him.
him in sooner than later.
Well, it's gonna be sooner than later, because it doesn't happen overnight,
Right,
so you may as well start the process now, if
Plan
you wanna
and-
start it next
Mhm.
spring, let's say, or
Right,
this fall.
Mhm.
You know,
I
depending on where we are and what we decide, but it's, whatever it is, it will get brought to the commission. You guys will see the finished product and, you know,
This is the guy who designed it 50 years ago?
no, that's all, no.
No, this is the guy who redesigned it when we
When you did your
redid all
bunkers,
the.
what, 20 years
Even
ago?
The rain
better
out,
than
after the rain out?
No, he was the contractor who did the work. The design was done by Stephen K. and Doug Smith.
I'm sure there's still new.
Back when you guys did your bunker project, which was before my time.
Okay.
Doug Smith and Stephen.
Stephen K. I don't know if Stephen K. is retired, no, Stephen was a great guy, great guy. Doug's a
Jerry-
great guy too.
Jerry, did you and Mark ever make that ride together on the course?
No, not yet.
Let's get that done, because, and then maybe you, Mark, Steve and Doug can get
Absolutely.
together.
Yeah.
Put all your heads together and then come up with a plan.
Absolutely.
I have one question, the forward tees on 3, approximate completion date?
I'm for
On 4, sorry, 4, approximate, ballpark.
end of May. Beginning
When
of
is it?
June,
End
End
of-
of May.
Okay.
I gotta finish 10, I gotta do 4.
What are you gonna do in 10? Are you gonna just hydro seed it or?
No, I'm gonna sod that.
You're gonna sell it.
It's just, traffic
It's
is
easy.
too heavy.
Right there. No, you're right.
You
you're
try
right.
and seed it, and they're just gonna walk through it.
Exactly.
It kinda is what it is, it's a larger area, but, you know, it is what it is.
The only reason why we're walking around it now is because
Because you're
it's
good
dirt.
people.
No,
And you're
because
good
it's
people.
dirt, that's right, we walk, you know, it's.
Jimmy, his name was Doug Smith, right?
Doug Smith, Stephen K. did the.
Yeah, that's
bunker
that's
design.
what, Doug Smith, that rings a bell, yeah, Doug, that's the guy I was talking to about the bunker, yeah.
Oh, where, yeah,
Yeah,
he was up there?
yeah, he was up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know he worked over at Avon with them, so maybe he did swing.
Okay, Director of Golf report, please. Everybody see this report?
Yes.
Okay, any questions on it?
Yeah, how about that?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, we just wanted an update on the ladies locker room.
Oh, yes, okay, so,
And the what?
ladies locker room, so
Oh, yeah.
you know what they did? They took out the,
Right, we
they
know
painted, they took out the lockers, they shampooed the carpet and all that jazz.
And carpets next year, changing that up.
Yeah, so they're gonna, the plan going forward is, this winter, the carpeting comes up in the pro shop, the common area, the stairs, the ladies' locker room, and it goes to that vinyl plank floor. So, then, we're thinking, and I don't know, I'd have to talk this over further with Arosh. He said something about maybe redoing the bathrooms altogether. And I says, okay, but that's a conversation to be had with, you know, probably myself, Roche, and Doug Solik of Facilities. I'm not promising anything, it's just something that got brought up, it's
Okay,
not,
that's
it's
fine.
not etched in stone. I did get a couple of chairs,
Oh, there is a couple chairs.
there's, I think I got 4 chairs, I got them out of Pistol Creek.
Okay,
Somebody donated a little table that's in there, it's a little
Yeah.
table and it's not great. I figure when we do this project, when we do the plank
That's
floor,
fine.
we get something that everything matches. Cause I'm not really happy with the corkboard on the wall and stuff like that, maybe do something a little more modern, a whiteboard or something, you know? The
Does
corkboard
anybody
just screams
Ever
1970.
use that shower?
Don't ask me.
I don't think people use it, Mark's gonna clean it, I'm gonna get a shower for you, actually, the water does get hot, it takes a long time, excuse me, the water gets warm.
Oh,
Well,
lovely.
no, that's good you say that, so I can have them test that and find out why it's only warm water and not,
I didn't let it run maybe long enough, but I let it run for a while.
cause I know like even with Mark, he's got the men's locker room, Mark, you can, I don't know if anybody uses that shower.
Yeah, ours is readily,
I
well,
know.
ours is readily
You can't.
accessible, and now if it's clean and there's a curtain,
And you know, like, and Mark, and Mark's been, he's been great about the, you know, the curtain and all that, we've always wanted to put a partition up there, because if they're not gonna use it, the kid needs room for storage. Put up a wall in the door and he could store stuff in there, if we're not gonna use it, then
Good, two good reasons.
There's no reason why we need to have a shower.
Shower on.
I don't
If you
think
don't have
so.
lockers, it's no need.
Right, right.
I
I mean, we have one,
see
and
it.
I think it's rarely been used, but I think it was a hot water thing.
Oh.
So
I'll find out.
yeah, it did get warm though, so I think if
I'll
it's
find out.
clean and I put a shower curtain up there, I think people.
I'll find out,
When you went to Springfield,
yes,
it's you know, everybody's, a lot of people got damaged. Avon's got tons of damage.
Oh,
in there.
I heard
There's a lot.
very bad things, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I heard one thing, I don't know if this is true or not, but you know, they're actually looking at the white pines as being a factor in the destruction of some of these greens.
The reason you would say white pine, because it's an evergreen, what does an evergreen do? It casts shadows, what does that do? Keeps the ice on
Plus
longer.
acid and things like that, yeah. I mean,
Well, it's more acidic, our soil is acidic by nature, and now here in New England, that just exacerbates the problem. But the problem being whether it's white pine, hemlock, anything evergreen, close to a green, no bueno, no bueno. And that's why a lot of people yell at me, but that's why you've gotta open up your greens. You have to,
I'm
And then
all
the
for it. You
reason
need the
behind-
sun, you need the sun there.
you need the sun, you need the movement of air.
Yeah.
It's all those things you're not getting with white pine. Again, it's an evergreen, so you could have a green like 13 that's in the sun from sun up to sundown, and then you've got a green like I don't know, pick one like 10 before we took the pines down. That thing was in the shade, and especially in the winter time, almost all day long because of the angle of the sun. So where you're gonna get your damage on the right hand side of 10. 11 used to be our worst green on the course. I can remember 11 was our worst green because we had those pines that were on the side of 12T. As soon as we took the pines down, 11 is the best green on the course now. Because you're holding on to that.
Okay.
Mark, did you lose the video?
Yeah, I lost him.
Yeah, same here.
It says I'm the host now.
Wow, welcome.
I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah, I suspect.
Joe, maybe we should try and log back in. I don't know. Cause it said I'm the host. So I don't know if I can't, I don't think he's gonna come into the picture.
You know something? That's a good point. I'm gonna log off,
Yeah,
then I'll log back in. I just emailed him. I don't have his text number, but I just emailed him.
yeah.
All right,
All
we'll
right, let's
give it a
try
shot.
that.